What's going on, y'all? I'm Czar, and this is my review of the Warm Audio WA-1B. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Front End Audio for making this review possible, as they did send me this unit. Now, this compressor needs no introduction. We all know that this is Warm Audio's clone of the TubeTech CL1B, which some say is the best vocal compressor ever. Some people. But this is a tube Opto compressor, and unlike a LA-2A, which has an automatic attack and release, this can do a fixed attack and release like a 2A style compressor, or you can dial your attack and release manually, making it a lot more versatile than a 2A style compressor. But let's take a closer look. Alright, taking a look at the front of the unit, of course this looks exactly like a TubeTech CL1B. We've got our gain ratio from 2:1 to 10:1. Threshold, and all of these controls are detinted for easy recall, as most Warm Audio gear is. For metering, we can do input, output, or gain reduction. Bottom row, we got attack and release. The manual doesn't say how fast and slow what the range is for the attack and release. This is going to do fixed, which is going to give you a 2A style. It's going to fix the attack and release, so this will not matter if you're in fixed. If you do fixed manual, you're going to have a fixed attack, and then you can select the release. So this will not do anything if it's in fixed manual. Only the release you'll be able to adjust. And then manual is going to give you full control over the attack or the release. We have two sidechain options, which I've found interesting on the back. And then we've got meter calibration on the front, which is a very handy thing. All right, looking at the back, you can see we've got the two sidechain inputs. Branding for Lundahl transformers, just like you get with the WA-8000. And we have TRS and XLR inputs and outputs, which I'm not a fan of the TRS just because I have more XLR cables and less TRS cables, but it is very nice to have the option to do either or. All right, we're going to start with some rap vocals. This is an artist named Zill, and the vocal chain used for this was the Warm Audio WA-8000 into the WA-73 into the WA-1B. So we use this for tracking. This first example I'm going to play is with no compression, so you can hear the vocal without any compression, and then I've got an example where I did about 3 dB compression, and then one where I did like 7 dB of compression using the WA-1B. All right, let's listen to it without any compression.
Ay, boy, I'm blessed. Everything ain't perfect, but I'm living no stress. Whenever things ain't going right, I see it as a test. If I ever gotta crawl, I'm still making progress. Yeah, I wanted more, but we could've had less.
All right, so with that vocal, there's definitely a few dips in there, so we're going to look to smooth that out with the compression. All right, let's start with negative 3 dB of compression.
Boy, I'm blessed. Everything ain't perfect, but I'm living no stress. Whenever things ain't going right, I see it as a test. If I ever gotta crawl, I'm still making progress. Yeah, I may have wanted more, but we could've had less.
All right, and then with 7 dB of compression.
Boy, I'm blessed. Everything ain't perfect, but I'm living no stress. Whenever things ain't going right, I see it as a test. If I ever gotta crawl, I'm still making progress. Yeah, I may have wanted more, but we could've had less.
All right, so between those, I like the one with the negative 7 dB of compression more. It has a little bit more color to it. The level did, of course, drop with it being more compression, but it just feels to sit a little better. The one with the negative 3, I felt was a little loud, but of course we can just adjust that with the fader. But normally when I'm tracking rap vocals, I'm at around negative 3 to 5 dB of compression anyway. So I really like that I can dig in a little more with this compressor and still get a very smooth vocal without it sounding over compressed at all. All right, let's check out some female vocals. All right, for female vocals, this is an artist named The Hoodie Ninja. And again, we'll start with, well, the same vocal chain, WA-8000 into the WA-73 into the WA-1B. And like the rap vocal, we'll start with a take that has no compression.
Hopping in your window, babe. I'll love you down, down, down. Time is moving too fast. Can we slow down? hit the town.
All right, and now with the WA-1B. This is tracked through the WA-1B. I didn't take note of how much gain reduction I was doing, but I believe it was 7 to 9 dB.
Hopping in your window, babe. I love you down, down, down. Time is moving too fast. Can we slow down? I had a blast. Let's hit the town.
All right, so with this example, going through the WA-1B, I don't know, the vocal sounds more confident, definitely smoothed it out. I know she did a different run on that take. We were kind of experimenting on different takes. But I know she didn't get as loud on that take as she did with the one with no compression. But compressor still did a good job of holding everything at place. You don't hear any vocal dips where the level dips low. Everything is just forward and all at the same level and consistent. All right, let's give some final thoughts on the WA-1B. Final thoughts on the Warm Audio WA-1B. Y'all know I love Opto compressors, and I'm really liking this compressor. In tracking, it did a phenomenal job of just holding the vocal in place, bringing it forward, and it was very easy to work with in tracking. It's not something that was, some compressors you can just turn it just a little bit, and all of a sudden you get a whole bunch more gain reduction, and just is touchy like that. Not this one. It was very easy to set and then pretty much, forget it. I never really had to look over and check and be aware of how much compression I was doing, because it was just doing a good job at whether it was doing -3 dB compression on up to 9 or 10 dB compression. As a mixing compressor, this worked great as well. Like I said, y'all heard the examples. Definitely let me know what y'all think. It also has this, I don't know, when I engage it, the vocal definitely comes forward, but it also definitely comes up in level as well, which is very interesting, because I kind of feel like maybe the level is dropped going into it and then it gets raised once you engage the compressor. Just my observation of that. But I don't know, I'm thinking about picking up one of these myself, because, with Opto compressors, I normally go for a 2A style compressor, like my Manley ELOP or the Lindale Lin 2A, but I really love being able to have the variable attack and release that I can dial in myself with this compressor. And with it being detinted, it also makes for easy recall if you're mixing with it as well. So I think this is the first Warm Audio product that I don't have anything negative to say about. And I mean, generally my negative takes on Warm Audio has nothing to do with the sound. It's just some nitpicky things, like with their with the LA2A compressor. I didn't like that the meter calibration was in the back. We've got it on the front on this compressor. The Pultec was not a passive, or is not a passive EQ, where a Pultec is, which then made me go for the West Audio Pultec, which is a passive EQ. What is if I hit from Warm Audio? I feel like there's one more I'm missing, but generally Warm Audio clones stuff that I feel like everyone else has already cloned, and I feel like it's just not something that gets me excited. But with this compressor, we don't have a bunch of clones of this on the market, and it's very difficult to even get a real TubeTech CL1B at this time. So I think this is a great time for them to come out with this clone. And I actually thought Audioscape would be the first. We'll see if they come out with one as well. But kind of funny, years ago when Warm Audio was getting started, I think I can't remember if this was an email that they sent out, or if this was directed at me after, maybe speaking with them at NAMM or something. But, they wanted some feedback on what they should or, may look into creating next. And I, recommended that they do a CL1B because nobody else had done one at the time. Now, this was years ago, and I did look for the email. I can't remember what their reply was, but obviously they didn't do it until now. I don't know if that has anything to do with patents or anything, but I just found that kind of funny that, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, whatever, I recommended that they do this compressor, because it was one back at that time that I really wanted, but I didn't want to spend, the $4,000 or however much a CL1B was back then. But I'm going to go ahead and say this is my favorite Warm Audio product that they have done, and have been really enjoying using this. I'm gonna hate to send it back, man. Like I said, I may look at picking one up. I don't know, maybe GearFest, next year I'll be able to save something on it, so I may look at that, or, you know, of course, pick one up for front end, possibly. But definitely comment and let me know what y'all think of this compressor. What do you think of the examples that I've shown? And of course, this is available at Front End Audio, and I have a link in the description if y'all want to check it out and learn more about it or pick it up. All right, if you enjoyed this video, I appreciate a thumbs up. If y'all want to continue to see more, y'all know what to do.